Something's a brewing in New York City. And I want to say like a good 20% of my subscribers are New Yorkers. I can think of about four of them at least. Could be more than that. When I was a little girl, I've had a fascination with trains. It started when I was young. I was supposed to join a train club this year, but I can't justify paying a couple $100 for something that costs so much. And that's something I had to put on the back burner for a while. Then, too, I got sick, so I hadn't been able to go back to my mall and stay in the club or join, much less, because those fees to join, in my opinion, are a little bit steep, so I had to put it to the side for a while. I'd love to take a train ride somewhere in the United States, just look at the landscapes, lay back, have maybe a cup of coffee or something, or a nice hot cup of chamomile tea or something. I'm just that old lady-ish and weird. Think I always have been. It's odd that the only time I've ever really been on a train is when I was a sailor and I traveled when we were in Japan a few days in 2004, my only cruise in the Navy. And I traveled on a train, not a bullet train, mind you, but a train from Sasebo and Nagasaki and then back from Nagasaki to Sasebo. All that beautiful Japanese countryside. It was just the most beautiful thing. So it's odd that I got my train ride, but I only got my train ride in a foreign country. And it's the only one I've been on. You know, I heard a story in Seattle years ago that a guy would sometimes bring his pet python, that's a huge animal, on the darn Seattle Transit buses. I've never been able to verify this. This suspect piece of mess, man, he brought 2 giant snakes. Come on, New Yorkers. I was going to say y'all's names, but I'm not going to do it. Come on, New Yorkers. Come on. One of y'all got to say something. So he arrives on the train. And other than the one woman sitting there having a stare down with what looks like the Burmese python, because there's also a ball python, I think that's the one wrapped around this fool's neck. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this. There was a passenger that took recording of this. And he proceeded while recording this to note that the man was giving the snakes kisses on the head and things and giving them free range to move around. Are y'all so cranky in New York and need to sit down so bad that these big gigantic snakes that could have really wrapped around any of y'all didn't bother y'all? Is this just a New Yorker thing? I'm not trying to be funny either, because y'all were these folks just look real unbothered. And I get it, the commuter train is no different than if you worked in Washington, D.C. These are man-eating snakes, man. That's what I call them. Y'all that tired in New York City? Here's one we'll take this conversation right quick, then I'm going to wrap this up. Those snakes are exotic because of the nature of the damage that they can cause. I don't think you should have the right to have one as a pet, and that's going to maybe alienate some people and tick some people off. If you pay attention to what's happening in Florida, they came out, I think it's earlier this year, and said that the Burmese python is now endemic in that area and will be endemic in the United States. I didn't find that article because I brought that up on a whim, but I should have saved that article from earlier this year. It had to have been early January to early February that I can recall. It's not a good thing that this animal is endemic because despite its large size, it knows how to crouch down, and half the time, by the time it snatched you up, you won't know it. See, the deer you like to hunt, these snakes are going to eat them off in those wooded areas. But with this chronic wasting disease going around, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's just me making this random quick rant. I just don't think you should have these things for pets. Some things don't make good pets, and that coming from me, from the state of Alabama, because in my home state, my birth state, because I live in Washington, I'm a resident of Washington state now. You could actually have a Bengal tiger as a pet, and to my knowledge, Alabama is still one of 3 states that allows you to legally have a tiger as a pet. Come on, y'all. I want to hear from my New Yorkers what y'all think. But stop this insanity and stop doing it on public transportation. The train, which should be a ride where you can sit and relax, shouldn't factor into it.